Cinderella. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived a gentle young girl named Cinderella. She was kind and graceful, with a heart full of hope. But after her mother passed away, her father took another wife, a proud and selfish woman who had 2 daughters of her own. From the very first day, Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters treated her cruelly. They made her do all the housework from dawn until dusk. She scrubbed the floors, washed the dishes, and cooked every meal, while they sat idly, mocking her. Because she often slept by the fireplace to stay warm, they called her Cinderella. Though her life was hard, Cinderella never complained. She remained gentle and good, and when her chores were done, she would sit quietly by the fire, dreaming of happier days. One morning, an announcement spread across the land. The king was holding a grand ball at the royal palace, for the prince was seeking a bride. Every young lady was invited to attend. Cinderella's stepsisters shrieked with excitement. They demanded new gowns, fine ribbons, and sparkling jewels. Cinderella longed to go as well, but her stepmother laughed and said,
"You attend the ball? You have no dress, no shoes, and no jewels. Stay here and clean the house."
On the night of the ball, her stepsisters swept off in their finery, leaving Cinderella alone. She sat by the hearth, her tears falling silently. Suddenly, a soft light filled the room. A kind fairy godmother appeared, smiling gently.
"Do not cry, my dear,"
she said.
"You too shall go to the ball."
With a wave of her wand, the fairy turned a pumpkin into a golden carriage, mice into horses, and Cinderella's rags into a shimmering gown of silver and gold. On her feet appeared delicate glass slippers, shining like starlight.
"But remember,"
the fairy godmother warned,
"when the clock strikes 12, the magic will fade."
Cinderella thanked her and hurried away. At the palace, all eyes turned as she entered the ballroom. Her beauty dazzled everyone, and the prince could not look away. He asked her to dance, and together they glided across the floor as if the music was made only for them. Hour after hour they danced, until the great clock began to chime midnight. Terrified, Cinderella fled the hall. In her haste, one glass slipper slipped from her foot and was left upon the palace steps. She vanished into the night, just as her gown turned back to rags. The prince searched the kingdom, carrying the glass slipper. He vowed to marry the one whose foot fit the delicate shoe. He tried it upon many young women, but none could wear it. At last he came to Cinderella's house. The stepsisters pushed forward, but the slipper would not fit them. Then Cinderella stepped shyly from the corner.
"May I try?"
They laughed, but the prince nodded. He slipped the shoe onto her foot, and it fit perfectly, as if it had been made for her alone. From her pocket, Cinderella drew the other slipper, shining just as brightly. At that moment, her fairy godmother's promise came true. Her rags turned once more into a gown of splendor. The prince knew without doubt that she was the one he had danced with. Filled with joy, he asked her to be his bride. And so, Cinderella was lifted from the ashes of sorrow into a life of love and happiness. She forgave her stepsisters for their cruelty, and in time they too softened their hearts. And from that day forward, Cinderella lived not only as a princess, but as a symbol of kindness, hope, and the magic that waits for those who believe.
Now, close your eyes, little one. Let the stars watch over you, and dream of gowns that shimmer, carriages made of gold, and a heart as gentle as Cinderella's.